30 psychological facts about men and women you didn't know. The psychological differences between men and women have been studied extensively for decades, revealing fascinating insights into how our brains work, how we communicate, and how we experience the world differently. While every individual is unique regardless of gender, research has identified consistent patterns that can help us better understand ourselves and improve our relationships with others. It's important to note that these differences exist on averages and spectrums. They don't apply to every individual, and there's significant overlap between genders and all psychological traits. These facts aren't about superiority or inferiority, but about understanding the beautiful diversity of human psychology and how biological, social, and evolutionary factors shape our minds. Here are 30 surprising psychological facts about men and women that reveal the complexity and wonder of human nature. Facts about women's psychology. 1. Women have superior emotional memory. Research shows that women remember emotional events more vividly and in greater detail than men. This is because women's brains show greater activation in the amygdala, emotional center, during emotional experiences, creating stronger memory encoding. This explains why women often remember relationship conflicts and emotional moments with startling clarity years later. 2. Women are better at reading facial expressions and body language. Studies consistently show that women outperform men in recognizing emotions from facial expressions, tone of voice, and nonverbal cues. This advantage appears as early as infancy, with baby girls maintaining eye contact longer and showing greater interest in faces than baby boys. 3. Women's brains are more active during rest. Brain imaging studies reveal that women's brains remain more active than men's during rest states. This may explain why women often report having difficulty turning off their thoughts or why they may seem to overthink situations more than men. 4. Women experience physical pain more intensely than men. Despite cultural stereotypes about pain tolerance, research shows that women have more nerve receptors and experience pain more acutely than men. However, women also recover from pain faster and have better pain memory, which helps them cope with recurring painful experiences like childbirth. 5. Women are more susceptible to depression and anxiety, but also more likely to seek help. Women are twice as likely as men to experience depression and anxiety disorders, partly due to hormonal fluctuations and partly due to social and psychological factors. However, women are also more likely to recognize symptoms and seek professional help. 6. Women's speech patterns change during different phases of their menstrual cycle. Research shows that women's voices become higher pitched during ovulation and that they use more varied intonation patterns. Women also tend to be more talkative and social during the follicular phase of their cycle. 7. Women are better at multitasking, but men focus better on single tasks. Brain imaging shows that women have more connections between the left and right hemispheres of their brains, allowing for better integration of analytical and intuitive thinking. This enables superior multitasking abilities, but may make it harder to filter out distractions during focused work. 8. Women form stronger and more intimate friendships. Women's friendships typically involve more emotional sharing, support-seeking, and intimate conversation than men's friendships. Women also report feeling more satisfied with their social relationships and derive more stress relief from social connection. 9. Women are more sensitive to social rejection. Research shows that women's brains show greater activation in pain centers when experiencing social rejection or exclusion. This heightened sensitivity may contribute to women's generally stronger motivation to maintain social harmony and avoid conflict. 10. Women judge trustworthiness faster and more accurately. Studies show that women can assess whether someone is trustworthy within milliseconds of meeting them. and their initial judgments are more likely to be accurate than men's. This may be an evolutionary adaptation related to protecting offspring and choosing reliable partners. Facts about men's psychology. 11. Men's brains are more specialized and compartmentalized. Men show greater activation in specific brain regions for particular tasks, while women show more distributed activation across multiple brain areas. This may explain why men often excel at focused, specialized tasks, but may struggle more with multitasking. 12. Men are more sensitive to hierarchy and status. Research shows that men's stress hormones, cortisol, and mood are more strongly affected by their position in social hierarchies than women's. Men also spend more mental energy tracking and establishing their status within groups. 13. Men have better spatial reasoning abilities. On average, men outperform women on tasks involving mental rotation, navigation, and understanding spatial relationships. This advantage appears early in development and remains consistent across cultures, suggesting both biological and evolutionary components. 14. Men are more likely to take physical risks, but women take more social risks. Men show greater tolerance for physical danger and uncertainty in areas like extreme sports, financial speculation, and career changes. However, women are more likely to take social risks like sharing personal information or confronting interpersonal conflicts. 15. Men's emotions are just as intense as women's, but they express them differently. Contrary to stereotypes, physiological measures show that men experience emotions just as strongly as women. However, men are socialized to express emotions through action rather than words, and they're more likely to withdraw when upset rather than seek social support. 16. Men are more motivated by competition and achievement. Research shows that men's performance and satisfaction increase more dramatically in competitive environments than women's. Men also show greater physiological arousal and reward-seeking behavior when competing against others. 17. Men have better night vision and motion detection. Men's eyes contain more light-sensitive cells and are better adapted for detecting movement in low-light conditions. This may be an evolutionary adaptation related to hunting and protecting territory during nighttime hours. 18. Men process stress through problem-solving rather than social support. When stressed, men's brains show greater activation in areas associated with problem-solving and action planning, while women's brains show greater activation in areas associated with social connection and emotional processing. 19. Men are more likely to compartmentalize problems and emotions. Brain imaging shows that men can more easily separate emotional experiences from cognitive tasks. This allows them to focus on work despite personal problems, but may also make it harder for them to process emotions thoroughly. 20. Men's self-esteem is more closely tied to achievement and independence. Research shows that men's self-worth fluctuates more dramatically based on professional success, financial status, and autonomy, while women's self-esteem is more influenced by relationship quality and social connection. Facts about both genders. 21. Both men and women lie equally often, but about different things. Studies show that men and women tell the same number of lies per day, about 1 to 2. But men are more likely to lie to make themselves appear better, while women are more likely to lie to make others feel better or to avoid hurting feelings. 22. Men and women both prefer their own gender for certain types of support. Both genders prefer same-sex friendships for emotional support and understanding, but for different reasons. Women seek emotional validation and shared experiences, while men seek loyalty and shared activities. 23. Both genders show bias toward attractive people, but in different ways. Both men and women give preferential treatment to attractive individuals, but men show this bias more strongly for women, while women show it more equally across genders. 24. Men and women both experience baby fever, but women experience it more intensely. Brain imaging shows that both genders have neural responses to infant faces that trigger caregiving behaviors, but women show stronger activation in reward centers when viewing babies. 25. Both genders are equally capable of aggression, but express it differently. Men are more likely to express aggression physically and directly, while women are more likely to use relational aggression, social exclusion, gossip, reputation damage. Both forms can be equally harmful. 26. Men and women both benefit equally from romantic relationships for mental health. Contrary to popular belief that women need relationships more, research shows that men actually receive greater mental health benefits from marriage and committed relationships than women do. 27. Both genders show implicit biases about gender roles, including against their own gender. Both men and women unconsciously associate leadership with masculinity and caregiving with femininity, even when they consciously reject these stereotypes. 28. Men and women both experience jealousy, but are triggered by different things. Men are more likely to be jealous about physical infidelity and sexual rivals, while women are more likely to be jealous about emotional infidelity and the threat of losing their partner's time and resources. 29. Both genders are equally empathetic, but show empathy in different ways. Men and women score equally on measures of cognitive empathy, understanding others' emotions, but women score higher on emotional empathy, feeling others' emotions, while men score higher on action-oriented empathy, helping behaviors. 30. Men and women both have biological clocks, but they tick differently. While women's fertility has clear time limits, men also experience declining fertility and increasing genetic risks with age. However, men's biological clock is more gradual and less psychologically urgent than women's. Understanding the implications. These psychological differences between men and women emerge from a complex interplay of biological, evolutionary, social, and cultural factors. Hormones like testosterone and estrogen influence brain development and behavior. Evolutionary pressures shaped different survival and reproductive strategies. Social conditioning reinforces certain traits and discourages others. In relationships, understanding these differences can improve communication and reduce conflict. For example, knowing that men often process stress through problem solving while women process it through social connection can help partners provide the type of support their partner actually needs rather than the type they would want. In the workplace, these insights can help create more inclusive environments that leverage everyone's strengths. Teams that include both detail-oriented, collaborative thinkers and big-picture, competitive achievers often outperform homogeneous groups. In parenting, understanding gender differences can help parents support their children's natural tendencies while also encouraging the development of a full range of skills regardless of gender. In education, recognition of different learning styles and motivations can help educators create approaches that work for all students rather than inadvertently favoring one gender over another. Important caveats. While these facts represent consistent research findings, it's crucial to remember several important points. Individual variation. These are statistical averages, not universal truths. Many individuals don't fit these patterns, and that's completely normal and healthy. Spectrum nature. Gender and psychological traits exist on spectrums rather than in binary categories. Many people display psychological characteristics associated with both genders. Cultural influence. Many apparent gender differences are influenced by cultural conditioning rather than biology. As gender roles evolve, Some of these differences may diminish or change. Intersectionality. Other factors like personality, culture, socioeconomic status, and individual experiences often have greater impact on psychology than gender alone. Growth potential. Understanding differences doesn't mean accepting limitations. Both men and women can develop skills and traits traditionally associated with the other gender. Moving forward, the goal of understanding psychological gender differences isn't to reinforce stereotypes or justify inequality, but to appreciate the full spectrum of human psychology and create environments where everyone can thrive. By understanding how men and women tend to think, feel, and behave differently, we can communicate more effectively with people whose minds work differently than ours, create more inclusive environments that accommodate different styles and preferences, appreciate rather than judge differences in how others approach problems and relationships, support the development of a full range of human capabilities regardless of gender. The most important insight from gender psychology research may be that human cognitive and emotional capabilities are distributed across a wide spectrum, and the healthiest individuals and societies are those that can appreciate, develop, and integrate the full range of human psychological strengths. These 30 facts remind us that while men and women may approach the world differently on average, both perspectives are valuable and necessary for understanding the full complexity of human experience. Rather than seeing differences as divisions, we can view them as complementary aspects of human nature that, when combined, create richer understanding and more effective solutions to life's challenges.